Thank you, Pawan. And moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, our session is on warehousing solutions, for which I would be requesting Mr. A Mohan to come onto the dais. Mr. Mohan is from Maini. He's the CEO of Maini Materials Movement and a core team member of Maini Group. Mr. Mohan holds over 30 years of diverse sales, marketing, operations and corporate leadership experience, and currently is also founder executive member of Society of Indian Material Handling Equipment Manufacturers. Before joining Maini Group, Mohan was also heading sales for India Nation at Molex Premise Networks, a global division of Molex Incorporates involved in manufacturing and supply of structured cabling systems. Molex Incorporated is one of the world's largest company engaged in design, manufacture and supply for electrical and electronic interconnections, products and systems. Mr. Mohan, I'd like to welcome you. A round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. And the topic is on warehousing solutions.
Good afternoon, everybody. I guess I have the toughest task right after lunch. Most people would be trying to take a short snooze, maybe 15 minutes. I'm going to try and keep this as interesting as possible. First off, thank you very much to the organizers to having us with us on this show here. I know there's a lot of technology which is being discussed, and the e-commerce industry is really coming up. I mean, it's really not there yet. In many ways, it's just an evolving industry. We read about probably 5 or 6 large companies, and then we read about thousands of other companies which are trying to set up the industry here. As a result, I guess the focus is on getting the technology right, getting the portals right, getting the payment options right, and trying to see how best to provide the customers with the product. Now, what we do, the Maini Group, a quick 1-minute introduction. The Maini Group, as I don't know how many of you would have heard, but let me connect you very quickly. We were the pioneers of the electric car in India, called the Reva electric car. So that was made by us. Back 15-20 years ago, when nobody believed in the electric technology, we were the only ones who invested in it. And of course today, Mahindra Reva, as it is called, Mahindra owns about 60% of the company, and we still own about 40% of the company. So our genesis is electric technology. That's where we come from. And we have thereafter migrated into the warehousing solution space. So what we do is we provide complete warehouse solutions. So typically, if you look at a warehouse, almost 70% of the investment capex which goes into a warehouse we manufacture, which means we manufacture all the storage racks, and we also manufacture the material handling equipment which goes with it. As another product that we have is we also make electric golf carts, buggies. That's another product which I guess is not relevant into this conversation. So what I will do is, this is brick and mortar. This is not technology. I mean, there's a lot of technology in it, no doubt about it. But this is largely brick and mortar, and something that the e-commerce industry will need in a real big way in the next 5 years. I would imagine that this will become the hottest subject that most of you will discuss when you're talking about customer delivery, customer experience. You're talking about cost optimization, so on and so forth. So I have put together a short, 8 or 10 slides just to give you some flavor of it. This is a very long and a deep subject. I don't believe I can cover it all in 10-15 minutes, but just to give you a very high level overview, and then if you have any questions, we can talk about it at the end of the session. So I guess all of you have had some food and ready to go, but let me give you some food for thought here, right? So here's the food for thought for e-commerce companies. You talk about products, and most people don't even want to touch the product, right? Yet the product needs to get picked up from wherever it is purchased. From there it needs to go to reach the customer in whichever way it needs, and in the best possible manner. So yesterday I was sitting in one of the sessions, and one of the things that people were asking me was, they were talking about was the customer experience. What happens? What's the customer experience? And how do people keep coming back into buying more from your same portal, provided they have a good experience? So here's the food for thought here, and there have been companies who have actually, the bigger ones have already started to work on it. And yesterday I also heard Pepperfry Amrish speaking about how they have focused on the supply chain side of it, which will basically mean a lot of success is tied to that. So in the operational flow, there is quite complex methods and processes available. I mean, India is, as I said, is just coming up, but nonetheless, something that we all want to know is, there is a lot of reserve storage, pallet picking, case picking, broken case, depending on, how you buy and how you actually package and how you sell. So the flow can be very different depending on what commodity one is dealing with. But just let me give you a perspective of what key problems the efficient warehouse can solve for you. You must look at whether you do it through a 3PL operator, whether do it yourself, or you outsource it, whichever way you look at it. Some of these problems which typically can get solved is the storage capacity, efficient utilization, because your product, whatever is going through the entire system, is picking up costs all along the way. It's everything you touch is a cost. So therefore, you need optimization, inventory management, right? Stock damages, stock identification, demand for increased throughput. I mean, you don't know how many people come into your portal every day. I don't think we can control that. And on the other end, you may have very finite capacities on either storage or how many you can pick, pack and ship. Your delivery times are all fixed. You commit yourself to a 48, 72-hour delivery times. But on the other end, are you aligned? Are you sure that you have proper systems and processes in real physical form for you to actually go and get that? The other thing is about, you want to add commodities, you want to add part numbers, you want to add SKUs, stocking units, you want to do customization. You have to have backend systems and processes to manage all that, and that can only happen through structured, efficient warehouses. And of course, the biggest problem is pilferage, and I'll also touch upon a bit of solution where you can actually manage pilferage in a different way for very high value goods. I'll give you some thoughts there. Right? So if you look at the storage capacity, today the warehouse is just a representative image of a typical e-retail warehouse. You can see there are different kinds of storage in this warehouse, in this picture that you can see. Basically they are made flexible for different types of commodities, and they're also made to be scalable. And I know there are some very large companies in the West who have systems where they can manage up to 7x of their peak demand. That's the kind of setup that they have from a scalability perspective. 700% in a single period of time. So if you look at effective utilization of available storage space, basically, today real estate is very, very expensive. All of you know that. And eventually your product gets charged with whatever cost somebody charges for you. So people don't really look at using the volume space. People go for ground storage. I have 100,000 square feet, so I can store 100,000 square feet. No, if you go for a 12-meter high building, you can actually go 400,000 square feet. Or in terms of cubic feet, you can go like 4 times more, 5 times more. But how do you go about doing that? So that's where the flexibility of building warehouse. I can give you some pictures here. Look at the pictures here. You can see very high storage areas. Some of these are like 12 meters high. Some can also go 16 meters high. So basically, you end up using a lot of air. Your volume space in the warehouse, and that can bring down cost dramatically. There are companies who can do that. We do it for a lot of companies, and we establish warehouses which are very, very super efficient in the way you can store it and pick it up. And of course, if you have to go that high, you also need material handling equipment. How are you going to store it and how are you going to retrieve it, right? So you also need to have material handling equipment which actually do that, right? So we offer the entire end-to-end solution with all the material handling equipment which can actually handle all these heights and optimization, right? So there are specific order pickers which can go up 16 meters high and bring your order down, right? Then of course you have inventory management for high demand SKUs. So you have again automated systems here. You can see on a picture here on this side. They are called automatic storage and retrieval systems. There are high-speed stacker cranes. These can go as high as 30 meters. So I'm talking about like 100 feet high buildings where it can just go bring whatever you want, all at a click of a button, completely backward integrated into your SAP system or whatever is your order processing system. You can be sitting in Bombay and you can have a warehouse in Bangalore, and then you can basically issue pick lists for people to go pick it up automatically from these systems. So there are very, very sophisticated systems available. I know most of these things will be reality in about 3 to 5 years time in India. It is a must, it's going to happen. There are a lot of textile companies in India already moving into this direction because of their volumes are scaling up so much that they have to start looking at managing these orders in a very significantly different way for them to get going. So if you look at quick sorting, I mean, of course, there are today RFID is common, barcoding is common, scanners are common, all of you end up using it. But have you thought of picking with equipments which have RFID scanners, right? So think about it. Even the pallets can get RFID tag. As they're picking up, your posting can happen on your stocks, whether it's reducing, increasing. There's a lot of technology out there. One step further, even the trucks have got RFID scanners. So you can look at when it is going in motion. Through GPS control, you can where the relative position of your goods are, where is it getting delivered, what time it is going to get delivered. Again, here in India, a lot of trucking companies are already embracing the GPS systems. I'm sure all of you must be driving those demands, because I think your industry is the one which will change the paradigm for transportation, because all e-commerce companies drive 48, 72 hours delivery time, and I think that's going to change the state of the industry and bring in a lot of automation. So in terms of throughput, there are again, it's a lot of equipments, but let me just quickly, before I close out, let me touch one particular important factor which I've heard from a lot of customers of ours. We've done warehouses for Flipkart, and also we're lucky to do the first warehouse for Amazon in Bombay. So what we've heard is, there are a lot of pilferage issues. Despite whatever you do, there is a lot of pilferage, and so we have systems which actually can handle high value goods in a fully sealed unit, completely automated. You don't get to see the product. You have just a window, a serving window available here, which key in what you want to store and what you want to retrieve, and only that will come in. So you can actually push any high value goods that you have, let's say mobile phones, cameras, jewelry, all those things. And these are completely standalone units. They don't need any special construction. You can put them anywhere you want. This can go to different heights and basically address a pilferage problem in the e-com industry. So with that, I just want to conclude saying that thank you very much once again for listening to me patiently. Hope it was not a drowsy experience for all of you. I would be happy to take any questions that you may have on this subject. If not, I will leave my email ID with the organizers, and then you can write to me if you have any further questions. Thank you very much.